with my hand, said it was too goody-goody. She was doing her best to break me of the habit through mockery. Yeah, Aurora, I really do. It wasn't a bad plan. As the guests entered the castle, their boats were moored along the shore, forming a long chain. As more boats arrived, they were tied to the first. They began to stack up 3 or 4 boats deep, making a veritable flotilla. There were so many yachts, several of which were quite large, that a few of the boat chains reached the public pier. All we had to do was climb on one at the very edge, then inch along the outside, clinging to the rail, transferring from boat to boat, until we were able to just walk into the castle from the Vanderlinds dock. I had been going along with Blossom's harebrained schemes ever since Mrs. Lehman's 3rd-grade class. Blossom had gotten me into more trouble than I cared to remember, but as my mother always said, "You're the one that goes along with her ideas. If you're going to be friends with her, you have to learn how to tell her no." The thing was, I didn't want to say no. Not usually. Or, at least, I never thought to say no until it was too late. But this idea in particular appealed to me. Even if we got caught, we'd at least get a glimpse of the inside of the castle before they kicked us out. I knew I'd probably end up regretting it, but at that moment, I really wanted to give it a try. "Let's do it," I told her. We hopped in my ancient gold VW bug and headed back to Blossom's house to get dolled up. Because of her catering business, Mrs. Coster attended a lot of events where she had to look nice, so she had a bunch of fancy clothes. Blossom said, "I'm sure my mom won't mind if we borrow a few things." I knew from experience that really meant, my mom won't mind as long as she doesn't find out. "Where is your mom?" I asked as Blossom unlocked the front door to let us in. "Who knows?" She rolled her eyes, "Probably out on a date with her new boyfriend. I'm sure I won't see her until tomorrow morning, when she'll try to sneak in the house like she's actually been home all night." Mrs. Coster's closet was almost as big as my room at home. There were enough shoes to keep a dozen debutantes happy for months, and gowns in every color. "She's a bit of a shopaholic," Blossom explained, as she pawed through the dresses. Blossom was the prettiest girl in our high school, or at least the prettiest by high school boy ratings. She was 5'4", blonde and blue-eyed, with a cupid's bow mouth and a quick laugh for any joke, just as long as it was made by some jock or a guy that was viewed by the general female population of Tiburon High as being desirable. When she was around boys, she acted like a complete bubblehead, and that behavior kept her in dates whenever she wanted them. But away from guys, she was daring, sarcastic, willing to laugh only if you made a very good joke, or if she was mocking you. She had a split personality, part cheerleader and part Oscar Wilde. I, on the other hand, was the kind of girl who boys probably wouldn't appreciate until college. At least that's what my mom always told me when I was sitting home, dateless and feeling like a loser on a Friday night. I had black, curly hair that tended to frizz, green eyes, and a bit of a pointed nose. My shape was what used to be called an hourglass figure, all boobs and buns, with very little tummy. If Marilyn Monroe's figure was still in vogue, I'd probably have had more dates. But as it was, I had trouble finding a wardrobe that could accommodate my curves. My shape was not in style. "Here, this'll look great on you." Blossom yanked an emerald green wrap gown off its hanger and tossed it to me. "It'll bring out your eyes." She selected a sky blue shift for herself, with the same purpose in mind. Blossom might have been the same size 6 as her mother, but I was a good few dress sizes larger than that. The wrap dress barely hugged all my curves, and my boobs were practically popping out from the low-cut neckline. "I can't wear this," I said, pulling at the material, trying to get more coverage. Blossom cocked an eyebrow as she appraised my cleavage. "We'll borrow one of my mom's brooches to keep you in there," she assured me. By the time we applied makeup, shoes, and accessories, we looked pretty good. I'm not sure we were elegant ball at a castle good, though.